Emo Sewall Productions.
Is off. Hello, welcome back to Deep Down to the Upside Down for episode 2. We are going over the Weirdo on I think Maple Street or
Maple Street.
Maple Street. Uh, well, as we just realizing now, we talked about episode 2 and episode 1. Uh, you
It's
know,
okay. It's okay.
hey, it's okay though, because with this season 1, it's kind of like it felt like all the episodes were just going back to back to back. It just felt like they all kind of combined it together. So I didn't realize we were talking about it until rewatching this episode. I was like, wait a minute, I thought this was episode 1. Nope, definitely episode 2. That's for
Definitely.
sure. But hey, it's okay though because we did miss a couple things on this episode that we didn't talk about last episode.
Mm.
So I guess we can kind of get a little bit into that. If y'all guys don't already know, I am Annie, and then I have my lovely, lovely best friend here.
Drew Dread. Sorry, my screen went dark for a second, so I'm trying to. I don't know why
Hey
it
man,
went dark.
I just said nope,
Uh,
not today. No
nope.
lighting
It's
today.
like went. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah,
Hey,
we're
it's
here.
okay. We're
We're
here.
here. Season
We're
1,
trying to have fun.
episode 2. The Weirdo on Maple Street. I got
Bam.
bars.
Bam. Just start adding the sound effects. What is it? The burr, 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 burr.
We need Fuentes to start rapping in these intros.
Oh, yes, we do. Need him to start rapping the intro for us. Um, well, a lot went on this episode. It felt like an hour long. It didn't feel like an hour long episode, but it felt like more like 20 minutes
Hmm.
versus it being an hour long. But we could get into it just a little bit. We get 11 or L for short. At Mike's house, Mike, Dustin, and Lucas are all like looking at Mike like he's crazy. We need to tell an adult because, for one, we don't know how old this kid is. By all
Yeah.
means, it is a kid, but they don't know it's a kid. They're thinking it's some crazy person that got kicked out of.
Juvie
Uh,
or some shit like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
looking at her like so crazy. Like, excuse me, like,
There we
why
go.
is your head? Oh, look, there's your lighting. Hey, pop. I don't know. Like they just kind of was like, she's from an insane asylum. Like, why is her head like that? Why doesn't she talk? Why isn't she saying anything at all to us?
Hmm.
And I'm kind of like,
I
come
mean,
on, man.
personally, what would you do in that situation?
Okay, okay. Low key though, I would have been like, you know what? Maybe y'all are right. Maybe she is a little crazy. Like I don't know. She wasn't talking much, so I mean, you couldn't really get anything out of her. Just like a head
Uh-huh.
shake and like a no shake, and
Yeah.
that was it. And I'm just like, bro, you know more words than that. Like you
I
could say
think
something.
I think I would talk to her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until like maybe an hour goes by, I can't get and nothing out of her. Then I'll be like, all right, I'm done with this. We need to call somebody. I'm
You're
done.
like, my hands are up. I'm done
Hands are
trying
up.
to conversate with you. No, no conversation, no nothing. Um, they're just trying to get a little bit more information. Why she's out there by herself, all alone in the rain, and it just makes her look bad already. Like first impressions, bad. Like not good. Not good for these kids. 11, 1, kids 0 at this point. Um they try to get a little bit more information, but Mike is suggesting, let's not talk to anybody until tomorrow because they weren't supposed to be out anyways because they have a curfew now because of the
Mhm.
whole missing of Will Byers. Um so he tells the boys, look, we'll talk about it at school tomorrow. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll figure it out or I'll deal with it and everything. Um he does give Levin some clothes to change into. I think it was like Nancy's long sleeve shirt or his long sleeve
Mhm.
shirt that was down there in the laundry room. Tells her to change because she's all soaking wet. Lo and behold, she's trying to change in front of them, obviously. Like,
That's,
and they're like, hey, yo, try not
yeah.
to change. But he puts her in the bathroom, tells her, close the door, and she doesn't like closed doors. So cracks it a little bit. But think like what 3 inches.
3 inches.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't
3
know.
inches crack.
I don't know why I was gonna say 6 inches, but I didn't. Yeah, I think I did 3 inches.
I
Yeah.
think it was like 3 inches, like very, very cracked. And then came out, boys were talking like, all right, guy, man, she's kind of crazy. She tried to change in front of us. They're all disgusted. They're like, what 11-year-olds like, oh, gross, changing in front of people. Um, they take off. Mike is just trying to, wait for her, make sure she's okay. His introduction's kind of cute though, because like he's like, "Hi, my name's Michael, but you can call me Mike for short."
Mike for
And
short. Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, this is cute." I feel like that was the moment, like right on. He fell in love with her, but we're not gonna
Uh,
say he's in love with her, but we
oh
know he.
yeah. I mean, the
It's a
whole
girl.
mood changed. Yeah. It's a girl.
How about it's a girl? Like, come on. What would change him? Just
Yeah. Yeah.
right off the
I
bat. I
also, I
thought it was
also found
cute.
it funny. Like, she showed him the tattoo, and he was all excited. He's like, "I've never seen a girl with a tattoo or a tattoo to begin with." So I was just, yeah,
He's like, oh, he's so bad. Like,
yeah,
what is it? Your mom always tells you to watch out for the bad ones. It's
yeah.
opposite. It's opposite now. It's him
What an
telling, oh,
experience!
best experience for him. He's all, girl with the tattoo, absolutely. Girl with a dragon tattoo, but not even a dragon tattoo. It's a little number tattoo
Straight.
right there.
Yep. Yeah.
That's a strike. That's red flag number 1 right there. Number
Like,
1.
do you think they were saying that in the 80s?
It was the 80s. I mean,
Tattoo,
yeah.
tattoo and a girl. That's a red flag for me, man.
Yep, that's a red flag. I'm a Cowboys fan. Red flag. Cries.
Yeah.
Sad day. Sad day. But anywho, um, he sits down, kind of having like a conversation with 11. 11 kind of gives maybe 1 or 2 words because she really doesn't talk or communicate, but she does mention Will's name.
Hmm.
Will's name. She points at a photo that Mike had. I think it was Mike, Dustin, Will, and Lucas all in a photo, and she points at Will and kind of says hiding, and we're like, oh shoot, she knows Will. She knows of Will. She knows how Will looks, but how does she know that's Will's name? Mike's kind
Yeah.
of like flabbergasted, like,
It's like, we just
Will.
met you, girl.
Like, you don't even know my name, but you
Yeah,
know
I
Will's
know.
name. Second red flag. He's already jealous. There you go. But
Oh shit.
that's when the entrance kind of like cuts in, or as you say, the beginning or the title
Intro.
scene hits, and that leaves us with a little cliffhanger. And I'm like, dang it, man.
Hmm.
I want to know why and how she knows Will's name. Um, it jumps straight forward into, I think, at Joyce's and Will's house, the buyer's
Yeah, they're
house.
having breakfast. Jonathan and Joyce are having breakfast. I think
And Joyce,
Joyce is going like a little. I mean, I would too, but a little going insane about getting flyers, this and that for Will missing
to
this and
cut
that. So
to print it in color or like print it on black and white, like
yeah,
uh obviously we know money's tight for them, like you could tell right off the bat. She's panicking because, for one, the whole phone incident that happened, she
yeah.
doesn't
Hmm.
have a phone. So what if Will's trying to call or trying to get a hold of her and she doesn't have a phone, so she's freaking out because of the phone. And then we see the power the electric company going over the power lines, checking
Hmm.
the power lines to see what's going on, because obviously with that happening, the power went out in that side of town. Hopper shows up. She's over here like, why is it taking you so long? It's been
It's
past
six
24 hours.
hours, all this
Yeah, or
stuff.
6 hours.
Yeah.
It's just, she's really going off on Hopper. For one, he
Uh-huh.
looks like he woke up with a hangover, and he was like hungover or something. Like, he looked like he was drinking a few.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, he's just like, you know what? Maybe he's at his dad's. He wanted to get away. He wanted to run away. And she asked him, "Did you call him? Did you get a hold of him?" Like, because I haven't. I've tried calling him. He won't answer me. And, Jonathan in the middle of this, I feel so bad because, like,
And then also like Joyce shows Hopper the phone, and then Hopper was like, "Well, it's got to be the storm." Like, so she
obviously
freaking
assumes
out
it's
even
a
more.
storm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's over here like, well, I heard him. I know his breathing. I'm his mom. And I give props to Joyce because she stood up to Hopper, but like you would the way that she said it kind of was like, ooh, that's hurtful because she was trying to tell him, I know how my child breathes. Wouldn't you know how your daughter breathes?
Yeah.
And Hopper
Uh,
stopped right in his tracks, and I was like, bro, she
mm,
the room
Hopper
went
deserves to
quiet.
leave. Like Hopper deserves to leave at that point.
Bro, I literally like I gasp like
hmm
because it was dang. I didn't expect it, and I mean, everyone's like, "Damn," you know. Even Jonathan's in the background, like
Yeah, poor Jonathan. Like he said on point. Like he's just in the middle. Like I'm just here to have breakfast. I'm just like
he's
I
like,
don't.
"Guys,
Like,
I'm just trying to go to school. I'm just trying to go to school, guys." But Jonathan gets ready to leave for school, trying to tell his mom, "Hey, let's calm down. We don't have to worry about this. We'll get this all taken care of and situated." And takes off. Um, we get the kids getting ready for school. Well, you get Mike getting ready for school. He's trying to, figure out a plan on how he's gonna go to school without Elle getting seen, which is gonna be kind of hard because for one, you have a little sister. For one, you have a older sister, and you know, trying not to give any much detail because you don't want to give away your whole hand and figure out that
yeah.
11 and everything is downstairs. Um, what else is going on? Oh, Mike and his sister are kind of having a conversation at the kitchen table, and he throws like, "Oh, how was
Yes.
studying
Yeah.
last night?" And I'm like, "Oh," and he's like, "What do you study? Human anatomy?" And I'm like, they're both kicking each other's feet underneath the table, and the mom's like, "What's going on?" "Huh, nothing, nothing." I'm like, "Ooh," they both saw each other sneaking out, which was funny because they obviously know,
That
and
point was a truce. Like, all right, truce. Let's stop. Let's stop.
they're like, "You know what? I won't give you up. You won't give me up. Cool, great."
Yeah.
That's like the brother sister relationship right there. Like, you won't rat me out, I won't rat you out. Keep it at that. Keep it as simple as possible. Um, I think everyone takes off from the house. They're going to school. Obviously, Mike doesn't. He kind of rides his bike to like I think the corner, waits to
hmm
see if mom and dad are gone, and then makes his way or circles back to the house. Or I think they met up at the school. I think Dustin and Lucas or all of them wait. I think Dustin and Lucas are waiting for him to show up, but he didn't show
Yep.
up, and they're over here panicking. Did Mike tell his mom? Maybe his mom told our mom. Like panicking and freaking out because of them sneaking out because they weren't supposed to sneak out. Obviously, um, we get Joyce. All that cutting scene. We get Joyce going to her work.
Look.
I think.
Uh.
Yeah, going to her work. She needs a phone, so she goes to go get an advance for a phone and to write it down in the book, and that she'll pay for it later. She's giving the whole sob story, which kudos to her. You have to give that sob story. She's like, I've been an employee for 10 plus years for you, and not only did I haven't asked for much, and blah blah blah. Like, she's like, I really need this phone, and he's like, okay, okay, writing it down. And she said, and I quote, I need more than 2 weeks to pay off that phone. The guy looks up at her like, oh, okay, whatever. And then she throws, and also need a pack of Camel Crushes.
She's going through it. All right. She's going
I,
through it.
she is going through it. So that's what I said. I give her the benefit of the doubt, man. You
Yeah.
want your
Exactly.
phone? She's like, you want your phone and you need your
Want the
cigarettes?
smokes?
Yeah, you got to
All
give her
right.
whatever,
It's on the
whatever you
house.
need, Joyce. Whatever you need at this point. Whatever you need. Um, we kind of get like a little talking scene in between Barb as well too. Barb and Nancy, they're kind of at school, hanging out, talking by the lockers, and that Steve brings up Steve walks by, brings up a party that he's planning that his parents are out of
Out of
town.
town. You know.
Him, the casual thing
Yeah.
like we're going to have a party. And it's a small intimate party. It's Steve, he's trying to have Nancy get over there, and then it's his friend and his girlfriend that are gonna be there. Obviously, he's trying to, get
Dude.
into Miss Nancy's pants.
Actually,
But I'm all, but I think Steve is a good guy. Don't get me wrong. This season,
yeah,
maybe,
no,
but he grows on everybody, eventually. It
yes.
will get there. But
I think
he
everybody's
was
first
kind of,
reaction to Steve is not the best,
oh yeah,
obviously.
no. When I
So
first watched this season, I was like, God, I hate Steve. Like, he's such the nonchalant jock boy that you would
I was
think
gonna
of,
say like he is a jock. Yeah, yeah,
because he played basketball. He
yeah.
he
He
uh,
played
he played
basketball.
basketball,
I forgot about that.
and
I was like, did he play sports? I already forgot he played basketball.
yeah, he was
Because
that
like
cliche.
we're so used to. I mean, in the later episode, I'm pretty sure I've seen later episodes, but like we're so used to him getting beat up. So it's, so
Time and time and time again, my
yeah,
guy.
exactly. So I'm all
Always.
like, is he a jock? I forgot he's a jock.
Oh no, he's one of those sensitive jocks, man. He was a
Yeah.
basketball player. Um Lo and behold, she's like, "Oh, well, I'll think about it. Well, I'll get back to you if we're gonna go." And asks like what time, and I think he said like 10, like 9 or 10 or
That's
something.
late. That's
That's
late.
late. That's a late party, my guy.
For a
But
high
hey,
school party. That's late.
that's late. Um Barb was standing next to her and was like, "You're really not thinking about going to this party, right, Nancy?" She was like, "We could probably go. Barb, just go with us. It'll be fun. It'll be all of us, and it'll just be fun to do something different with our life." I give props to Barb, man. Barb is over here like, "No, Nancy, we
She's being the
have
mom.
our, yeah." She's being the
Yeah.
mom. She's like, "Nancy, we got our grades. We got school. We shouldn't really be out because of all of this that's going on in the city." And I'm just like, damn, Barb, you know how to ruin a party.
You say like I remember thinking that too. I'm just like, yeah, maybe Nancy just wants to just have fun every once in a while. And Barb's
Yeah.
over here like, okay, I get it. We have all this responsibilities to do, but like you gotta have fun like at least a couple times.
Yeah,
But
just a couple parties here and there, It's the casual, the
yeah.
But hey, I give props though, because Barb is looking out though. She's like, we shouldn't really do this because of X, Y, and Z going on in the town. We got kids missing. We got one kid missing. We haven't found him yet. And it's kind of sad. But we do get like a little cute moment, I would say. Not I would say cute, but kind of like sad in a sense. We get Jonathan putting up the posters of Will at school. The school is hosting a vigil
Hmm.
uh for Will. The high school is, and they're doing it like at the football field at 7 p.m. And that all is advised to attend to help the city or help the town deal with this whole situation, which for one, he's not dead. Everyone,
Hmm.
I feel like a visual is
That's
like
kind of messed
for,
up. Yeah.
yeah, they're already like, it's been 24 hours, he's gone,
They already,
he's gone.
they already gave up. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn, that's not nice. um it's
It's
just
pretty messed
everybody's
up.
kind of I know. We get Nancy kind of talking to Jonathan like, "Hey, I'm sorry about everything that's going on, and like I understand the whole situation." Not like trying to be very remorseful and like trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like she understands because for one, that's her brother's best friend. And trying to give him that reassurance, we're going to find him. He's going to come back. He's going to come around again. It's just going to take some time. And just get that little cute moment because he smiles at her, that little side smile, side grin, and I'm just like, oh, that's the moment Jonathan fell in love with
Need that.
Nancy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's a
Come on.
port.
Poor guy though. Damn, try to think of what's going on in the episode. We get Mike back at the house. He goes to go check on 11 to make sure she's okay. They're downstairs talking and conversating a little bit. The radio, I think, is the little she's messing with his radio or the walkie-talkie.
Walkie-talkie? Yeah.
Uh, that I think all he said all of his friends have it, but the only one that's close enough for him to talk to is Dustin.
Mhm.
I think is what he has said. And she's messing with the channels like on it, like just kind of twiddling with it and figuring out some things. And I think this is the episode where she hears something or like is it? No, I'm trying to think.
Let's see.
No, I think this is it. I think this is when she's messing with it and you hear like some kind of like humming or breathing over the walkie or something. It sounds something like Will's voice on that
Mhm.
walkie. And then lo and behold, that's when Miss Wheeler comes home with his with the younger daughter, and Mike is like, "Oh no, I gotta run!"
Panic, yep.
And panics, pulls 11, like, "We gotta go, we gotta hide because you're not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here, and I could get in a lot of trouble for being home." So pulls her upstairs to his room, opens up his closet, and was like, "Stay here, like, don't go anywhere." Closes it, closes the closet door. He walks out and he's like, "Oh no, mom, I came home because I had a scratchy throat and I woke up with a headache this morning. And mom, just don't be mad at me because I just didn't. The last time I told you I was sick, you made me go to school still." And I was just kind of like giving the whole rundown, which as a kid, I remember trying to pull that,
We've all been
you
through
know?
that. I was just gonna say.
I was like, what I used to do is to get the thermometer when my mom would tell me to put the thermometer in my mouth. I'm like, oh well, I have to go to the bathroom. I really don't feel good. Get the hot water going and put it underneath just to wait, and then when it starts beeping, just put it back in my mouth. Hey
Damn.
man, hey, I was a
Wow.
bad. I just sometimes I didn't want to go to school, man. There was days where you were just like, forget school. I don't need school, which you do. Stay in school. Stay in school if you need to be in school.
Yeah.
Like kids, school. School is the best thing for you.
School. I would just lay in
Uh,
bed and not get up.
oh
That's
wow.
stupid.
Lucky you. I had to get up. If I was at home sick and my mom was like, "Oh, you're sick? Okay, fine. You can do the laundry, you can do some folding, you could do this while you're home, and you can still
Yep.
lay down." And I'm like, "Okay, I guess I should go to school then." At
Hell no,
this
I'd
point.
rather stay home and do all that stuff.
You're like, dang it, man. I didn't want to do all of that. I could have done that on the weekend versus doing it during the weekday. Now as an adult, I have to do it every single day. But but yeah, man, good times as a kid, man. You can get away with anything. Tell them I don't feel good. My tummy hurts. My foot hurts. My leg hurts. Something, and get to stay home.
My finger hurts. I have to stay home the rest of the day.
Yeah. They're like,
Some bullshit like
oh,
that.
mijo, don't worry about it. You can
Or
stay home. Let me put some ice or vapor rub on it, and you'll be okay.
especially when you get lucky when you get sick and they can't leave you at home because they have to go to work too. So they just leave you at grandpa and grandma's or somebody else's house. That's the
Yes,
best treatment
abuelas.
ever. The
Yes,
best
because
treatment
you get
ever.
fed.
It's like
You
you're
get
actually in the
fed.
hospital. You're just, you know,
Yeah, you're
little
just hanging out. They
burrowing.
take you everywhere with you too.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, I gotta go to the store or I gotta go to Sam's. I gotta go here.
Hmm.
You're gonna come with me." I'm like, "Okay, I'll go with the little Game Boy and everything. Like,
Yep.
you're having a blast, blast always."
Damn.
But no, Miss Wheeler does not get upset. Tells Mike, "Hey, I get it. I understand. You're going through a lot. You don't want to go to school? That's fine. Be honest with us and tell us the truth that you don't want to go to school. If you're feeling something or you feel like, you're upset or something, just stay home." She's straight out honest because she understands the whole situation
Oh
with Will and
well,
everything.
yeah.
And something she's like, "You don't have to talk to me about it now if you're not ready, but we'll talk about it eventually, but
Hmm.
let's him get away with it." But we hear a big thud and I feel like, "Oh shoot, we're gonna get in
Like
trouble."
it's like just when you had a relief, that the little thud happens.
I
So
was like, "Son of a gun." But we do get a little bit of a flashback for 11 as well too. She gets flashbacked all the way back into the hospital that she is at, and she's screaming for Papa. Um, this is the first time we ever get to hear the word Papa. She's screaming and yelling because she feels like she's failed him or done something wrong, and now we're here. Like we get Mike opening up the door and like asking 11 if she's okay and she needs anything. I think she runs up to him for a hug and like hugs him for a sec or two. And Mike's face, dude, just Mike's face was priceless. Like he's all like
That's what it
just
feels like for a girl to hug me.
not one, but he's like, I got a girl hugging me that has a tattoo. I'm here to comfort a girl that has a tattoo. Like he's
I'm on
living in
cloud
his
nine
own
right
world,
now.
bro. He's cloud nine fully. And like this is the greatest start to the best friendship we're gonna see. Honestly. um let's see. Oh, we get Hopper as well too. Hopper this episode, we get a little bit more into Hopper. He talks about his reign as chief of police. Um, but they do go check out the little quarry. It's where they have I think like a ledge to jump to a body of water or something.
Mhm.
Um, they go check it out there first because that's I guess that's where the scene of not a scene of the crime, but like there's something going on over there that leads their search that way. They're hanging out talking. I think one of the officers was talking about a friend that jumped and survived a jump that high, which Hopper kind of like was like, no, that's not true. Like that's cement, straight cement from jumping from that high. You'll die.
Mhm.
The other cop's like, I don't know, man. He lived to tell the tale. But by all means, it's always folk stories when it comes to stuff like that is what Hopper would say. But they do get a call from his secretary saying that we need to get to Benny's diner like ASAP, and we're like, oh, okay, well, they're like,
Go
let's
back to
go and
last
go check it
episode.
out.
Yep. Mhm.
Oh no, man! They go there, walk in. I think the body has been there maybe a full day or so.
I thought it was, yeah, I think it was a full day. I don't know why I thought it was like longer than that, but
It
yeah.
feels like it's longer than that, but I think it's like a day, day and a half is what it
Uh-huh.
feels like. Because the time frame from when it happened to now, I think it was probably a day and a half.
Mhm.
They find his body with a bunch of flies around it, gunshot wound to the head, but no one knows who did it or why or how. They're obviously ruling it as a suicide because of the way that it happened.
Mhm.
Um, they're like, how can someone do something like this to Benny? Benny's a nice guy, and why in the town? It shouldn't be happening here in the town. That it's something that should happen in the city or along the lines of that. They're trying to figure out why. Why here? Why now? They got a kid missing. They have a dead body. Like, just Hopper's like 0 and 2 right now.
Yeah.
He fails. Poor guy. Poor
I
guy, man.
mean,
He's going.
yeah, but at that point, you really can't blame the sheriff on that. Like, I don't know,
Well,
but
for him, I think he's blaming himself because he thinks it's his fault.
yeah,
Um,
but yeah, I know, but it's like I don't know if I would go to that extreme too. If I was the sheriff, I'd be like, well, I mean, yeah, it sucks this happened under my wing. At the same time, like I didn't cause this, so it's
yeah, he's all
like
well. Life sucks. Shit happens.
like I would feel like shit. Honestly, I would. I mean,
Yeah,
who wouldn't?
same.
But at the same time, it's like I didn't do this. Like like
Yeah, it's not his fault that someone decided to die or a
yeah,
kid went missing. Like, it's not
yeah.
his fault, and sadly, it happens on his watch. But
Mm,
regardless, nevertheless, um, they just kind of try to figure out. They do question one of his friends, one of Benny's friends that was there. They did mention that it's a usual spot that they go to at the same time that they found the body. Yesterday or the day before. Um, Benny was making him some burgers and some fries, and then they mentioned a kid,
kid,
and
yeah.
Hopper was like,
They were
"A
like, there was this
kid?"
boy. There was this boy.
Yeah, and Hopper's like, "Oh,
Uh,
what kid? Did it look like Lonnie's kid? Did it look like Lonnie's kid?" And they're like, "No, that's not Lonnie's kid." And Lonnie is obviously Will's dad,
mhm.
biological dad. Um, asking him. He's like, no. But if we shaved all of Will's hair, would that look like the boy that he saw? He said he's not even sure, honestly. But Hopper's thinking to himself, a kid wouldn't shoot a grown man. Like,
Hmm.
why? So they kind of rolled that in a situation like, oh, well, why is Will stealing food? Why would he shoot someone? Like, they're trying to piece Will missing and Benny's death together when it shouldn't be that. It should have been
Hmm.
something two totally separate entities. But they figured that out later on.
Yeah.
But brainstorming wise, they figured out both of them are connected, like two and two are together. Um
I mean, I can see that happening because like it pretty much happened back to back. So it's like I'm not saying I would assume that those two are connected, but I
mhm.
feel like that would be talked about in a real life situation. Like, well, it's kind of odd how a kid's missing and then all of a sudden just kills somebody. But like, I'm not saying that would happen. I would not assume that's the situation that what's going on at that time.
Yeah.
But but
It is what it is, I guess. But hey, Hopper has great thinking skills because I wouldn't have pieced them together. He automatically already pieced it together and been like,
hmm
well, I feel like these two are connected, but in some way or somehow they're both connected, at least. So hey, kudos to him. Kudos to being a good chief, sir. Good chief. Um, what else is there? What else is there? Um,
Nancy tries to urge Barb.
Barb, Barb, Barba.
Um, but yeah, the whole Barb thing. Pretty much keep telling Nancy to tell her not to go to the party, and then Barb ends up going with her.
Nancy
But she's
convinced her enough to
yeah,
go.
it's one of those like gut feeling, like Barb should have not gone.
Barb shouldn't
Like
have gone.
should have not gone.
Barb should have just dropped her off and been like,
Hey
sayonara.
sis, I'm gonna study for tomorrow
I'm going to study for our exam
while
tomorrow.
you fail tomorrow,
She's not going to fail
bitch.
anatomy, that's for sure.
Got
No, she's not. Not human anatomy. Uh,
a point.
yeah, I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it to roll off the tongue, man. Waiting for it. What else happens? Oh, we do get the boys back at the house though. They come over after school asking Mike what happened. They go downstairs and they see her down there. Oh, not downstairs, upstairs. She's upstairs with everybody, and Dustin and Lucas are like, "What the hell? Why didn't you tell your mom? I thought you said you were gonna take care of it and you were gonna tell her." And Mike's like, no, I can't because she said if I tell anybody or we get parents or adults involved, and then he does the finger motion to Dustin and he does the finger motion to Lucas, and Lucas swats his hand out of the way and he's like, well, I'm gonna go tell your mom, and goes to open the door and boom, the door shuts, and like he tries it again, door shuts, tries it again, door shuts, and we all just turn, and Levin hasn't done the little hand thing. She's just there like, no,
Yeah.
nosebleed and all, and I'm just like,
Okay.
Dustin's face. Yeah. Dustin's like, you have superpowers. I'm all,
That's
yes.
something we all say, I think.
Yeah.
Like you
Like,
good?
whoa, you good,
Like
man? Your nose is a bleeding, man. Like, what's going on? You mad? But no, we get like a little bit of, I guess I would say, an altercation in between them, and this is the first time like we actually see Eleven's powers. Like we see it a little bit when she uses the radio to find Will, obviously. Um and knows who Will is, even though she has not seen him at all, which is pretty great. And then the whole door telekinesis stuff, oh, even better. Icing on the cake, just cherry on top. Makes it even better because now she looks even more of a baddie doing that. Um, They're all getting ready to sit down for dinner as well too. I think at the
Is it Mike's
at
house?
Mike's house. They're all sitting there. Nancy tries to convince her mom if she can go out to quote unquote Will's visual. So for one, so she can go hang out with Steve and the gang at his house because obviously they're going to have a great time, good time. And Nancy's telling her like, oh, it's gonna be something at the school. And she said, okay, you can go if we take the kids. And all the kids are like, whoa, 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 no, no. And she's even like, no, like, no. And Nancy's mom, or Nancy and Mike's mom, were like, it's good for the kids. The kids should go because that's his friend. That's their friends. They're all, no, it's okay. We don't want to go. I'm like, dang, everyone's up to something.
I think at that point, if I was the mom, I would be like, "The fuck's going on?" Like,
Like, why do you want to go to your friend's visual? Like, I get that he's not dead, but like, still go to go support him.
Yeah. I think at that moment, I'll be like, "All right, we need to sit down and talk."
We need to have a chat.
Especially you,
A
Barb.
little chat. Oh yeah, especially Barb. Barb will tell you everything. Barb will rat you out in a minute. She'll be like, "Oh no, we're going to Steve's house. He's having a great time over there."
Gonna steady.
Hey, it'd be steady, Steve. We get them all hanging out downstairs. Everybody's kind of asleep or going to sleep. Mike steals the meatloaf, the whole tray of meatloaf. Like, I didn't realize it was a whole tray. I thought he had like just like a plate, but no, it's the whole thing of meatloaf that he took off of the stove. I'm all 11's like
Mood.
this thin.
Hey, it happens for me, it happens for her.
Hey, he saw all of it's mine. She's just getting a bite. I just wanted the meatloaf down there.
Yeah,
So
that is true. She's like this thin, so
yeah, all the rest of it is for the boys. Just made it more obvious.
For the boys. For the boys.
For the boys. Had me dead though, because I didn't realize it was a whole tray of meatloaf until looking back at the episode, and I was like, this is hilarious. A whole tray of meatloaf down there for them. Everyone kind of goes in their separate directions. Like, we get Hopper in one direction, we get the kids at the Wheeler house, and then we get Nancy and Barb driving to Steve's house. We get a little snippet of Hopper. I guess Hopper and his significant other. I don't think it's his wife at the time. I think it's someone like a girlfriend or someone he's casually seen. She asks him like why he's outside, because he wakes up in the middle of the night. Like, I think it's maybe like 10 or 11 or so. He's waking up just outside in his sweater, kind of like contemplating his life. And she asks him like, why are you outside? And he kind of gives the answer like, do you ever think like you're cursed somehow or some way? And then he talks about things that happened before.
In the past, yeah.
Yeah, in the past, and to what he's doing now. Because he talked about a missing person that happened in, I think, 62 or something, like in 1962. And then a suicide didn't happen until like the summer of 91 or 1971 or something like that. And I felt bad because, for one, he shouldn't feel cursed, like, at all. It's just shit happens in the wrong time,
Yeah.
Wrong place, wrong time for Hopper sometimes. Just going through it, my guy. Just poor guy. Then we get the kids. No, we do get the kids. No, it was the other ones. It's Barb and Nancy. They're on their way. Yeah, I was like, Barb and Nancy, they're on their way to Steve's house. Nancy makes Barb park 3 blocks away because she didn't want to park in the driveway. And we're like, bro, it's not even that bad. Barb's like, dude, why am I gonna park all the way over here? We could just park.
The hell with that?
Like,
I need to park close.
I ain't walking 3 blocks like
Hell
that. No, I ain't doing that. 3 blocks.
Shit.
3 blocks. Nah, Barb, you're gonna park a block away.
Yeah.
But she's like, no, because of the neighbors. The neighbors can tell them. I was like, y'all are in the middle of nowhere. Like, what neighbor is gonna snitch? They're gonna walk a block to go tell them, hey, yo, man, this car is parked over here, but they're going to your house.
And plus,
Don't
it's
know
what, like
why.
9 or 10 at night.
Yes, dark in the woods. Like,
I'm in bed.
obviously.
It's like,
Hey, Barb was right though. I do give props to Barb. Barb was like, absolutely not. We're not parking here. You know what? They still park there. Poor Barb. But Barb was kind of like explaining, like, hey, look, I don't think this is a good idea. We really should go back to the school. Just go to the visual, like this isn't a good idea. And all he wants to do is get into your pants. Barb brings it up the whole time, That's all. You're a good girl, Nancy. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't have to do this. And he should like you for you and not this. And giving the whole 9 yards to Nancy, you know. But way to go, Barb. You still had to walk 3 blocks, unfortunately.
you still,
You still had to walk 3 blocks all the way over there. And Nancy was changing in the car, too. She didn't want to be in the outfit that she was in before. So she changed her look and her appearance to please Steve.
Steve.
And I didn't like that. I'm like, you could have worn what you got.
Mm-hmm.
No, man. No. I'm so disappointed. Could have been so different.
I mean, at
That
that point, yeah, she was not gonna listen to Barb at all. So, like,
Oh yeah, she was like dead set.
yeah.
I'm here for
So,
Steve.
so I feel like
Like
she should have been like, all right, you can go, Barb, if you want. Like at that point,
she's like, Barb, I'm just gonna walk the 3 blocks myself. Like, don't even
yeah,
worry about it.
pick me up at midnight or something.
You know what? Just pick me up tomorrow. Just make it believable.
Shit.
But it just had me laughing, dude. Like Barb's telling her, don't do it.
It's just like
And
oof.
it's an ongoing thing. Yeah. She's like, nope. In one ear,
Yep.
out the other. That's what they
Yeah.
pretty much tell you. And I just thought it was hilarious, we do get the kids though back at the house, at the Wheeler house. They're just conversating and talking, and Dustin's like, dude, if we would have known you had superpowers, we wouldn't make you mad. We wouldn't have made you mad. Bringing up the whole door
Yeah.
incident, and I'm just like, you would have treated her way different if y'all guys knew that she had superpowers. Nah, you would have still called her a weirdo. You would have told her she was weird, and we would still have to report it. Like,
I don't
don't you
know.
lie.
I mean, if I was in a situation and I knew that she had powers, I ain't messing with her.
You're like, oh, wherever you want to go, I will take you.
I don't want to just
But-
float in the air and be choked. Like,
Hey yo.
hell no.
I mean, she'll boss you around just a little bit. A little bit.
A little bit, a little bit.
A little bit. We get the boys conversating with her, kind of trying to figure out how she knows about Will, because Mike is telling them like, well, she saw Will, or she knows of Will, and like she pointed at the picture with all of us in it, and she knows Will. And they're like, but how? Why? And have you seen him? Where is he? Like asking her a whole bunch of questions, and she gets up, walks over to their D&D table. Is it?
Mhm.
And she points at like the little statue, the little marker, and it's the wizard, which obviously character wise, Will plays
Will,
is a wizard, so it's Will the Wise that he is. She picks it up, says it's Will, and you're like, okay, well, where is Will, or what's going on with Will? She takes all the other pieces, slides them off of the table, flips the map upside down, obviously stating that he's in the upside down,
upside down.
and puts Will dead center, and
Yep.
says hiding. He's hiding. The boys are kind of confused, like, she really this crazy? Like, we should really still report her. But I just thought that was pretty cool. That for one, I forgot that they had little pieces. I thought she was gonna pick up a Demogorgon piece or
Mhm.
some kind of monster and put him there, and then Will. But no, it was just Will by himself. Will by himself there, in the upside down, hiding, just hanging out,
Just hanging out.
Um, try to think of what else.
I think it goes back to the party, no?
Yeah, it does go back to the party. You get to see is it
Oh yeah, that's right.
Bobby,
Yeah.
Steve, Nancy, Barb, and then Bobby's girlfriend. What is it, like Trina,
Mm.
something like that. Barb mentioned this in the car though. I forgot to bring that up. Bob mentioned, Barbara mentioned that Bobby and his girlfriend had been seeing each other since they were like in 7th grade, which I thought that was cute, But she did mention that they've been having sex since they were in the 7th grade, and I'm like, dang, that was back in the 80s where they could just do whatever they
Yeah.
wanted, you know. But
It's the 80s.
yeah, it's the 80s. But yeah, funny little thing. So back to that. Um, Steve is shotgunning a beer, like full on pocket knife, hit, puts a hole in it, take it, crushes it up, and Nancy throws a, "Is that supposed to impress me?" And Steve's like, "Oh, you're not impressed?" And I'm like,
That's such a
"Nancy,
jock
stop it."
thing. Yeah, it's such a jock thing to show a girl that they're impressed with shotgunning a beer.
Be like, "Oh yeah, I can shotgun a beer real
What
quick."
a jerk.
Ah,
What a
such a
jerk.
bag. Oh my god, I can't. Has me laughing though because he's like, "Oh, that didn't impress you? Like, you show me one, Miss Wheeler." Like, she gets up. I thought she wasn't gonna be able to do it. Like, I was like, she's gonna go
It's
halfway
gonna
through and be
fail or
like,
something. Yeah, yeah.
choke on it, right? Nah, this girl pops it, does it the same way, and everyone's like, chug, chug,
Hmm.
chug, 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 and Nancy ends up chugging it, acts like a cool badass, and hands him back the pocket knife, and was like, "I did it. I bow. I did it," and he's impressed.
At that
I'm a
moment, Steve fell in
homeboy.
love.
Yeah, in that
Yeah,
moment, he knew Nancy Wheeler was his, like,
yeah,
in love. And everyone's kind of like, "Oh, let's do one this," and then Nancy's like, "Barb, why don't you try?" And Barb's like, "No, no, 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 I'm not gonna do that. No." She's like, "Come on, it's gonna be fun." And Barb's like, "Fine." Barb's new to this stuff. Barb doesn't. I think she knows how to shotgun a beer, but doesn't want to do it in front of everybody because everybody's watching her. So Barb gets it. She's trying to. She's shaking a little bit, trying to put a hole in the can, and lo and behold, she ends up
cutting
not
herself.
cutting for him. Not cutting, but she stabs herself.
Oh, there you go.
She stabs herself right in between the thumb. I think it's like the
Which is
ligament,
pretty,
and
yeah, pretty
it's pretty
bad. Yeah,
deep.
yeah,
Poor thing.
pretty bad spot.
And
Just to get cut like that or stabbed
I'm
like that.
like, I
Yeah,
can imagine a paper cut right there, but
yeah.
like a stab, dude, and it's squirting. Oh no, man! Like, and Nancy's trying to comfort her, like, "Hey, Barb, let me help," and she's like, "No, don't." Like, Nancy's done enough already. Nancy
Uh-huh.
brought her to this party.
Yeah,
Nancy's making her stay.
I was gonna say like she's pretty much like blaming Nancy for all this stuff happening.
Yeah.
So
So
in a
she was
way,
already fed up.
but yeah,
Yeah, she was already fed
yeah.
up with it. She's done. She asks Steve where the bathroom is, and Steve goes to go show her. Um, we talked about this last episode. Jonathan's out in the woods. just just
By
kind
the
of
way, Jonathan's in the woods.
Jonathan's in the woods. Don't know. Okay, so I don't remember how he got on there, but I don't think this episode even showed him how he got there.
I
Like,
think he was just looking for clues for Will.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
I was
still,
just
like,
looking for this.
I don't know if I would do that at night.
Yeah, I would wait
No,
until the sun is up
I
because,
would wait
like,
till it's like I don't know. There's light.
yeah.
Like,
And he doesn't even have a flashlight on at all either.
get that.
He's just out there with his camera, like, kind of,
That's
and I'm like,
that's so weird.
I
No,
just thought that, yeah, you're right. I thought it's really weird just hanging out, like, oh, I'm just gonna go. And he hears the screaming and the yelling and stuff. So he goes and he sees that it's Steve's house. So he's just hanging out behind some trees, taking photos, photo after photo after photo after photo after photo after photo, just taking photos like crazy, like with every movement. And I'm like, okay, that's stalkerish.
still odd. Yeah.
still odd, you know. You could have just knocked on the door and invited yourself to the party, you know.
Knock on the door. Can let me in.
Let me in, boss. Let me in. Uh, it's just wild. But we get all of them having fun, having a fun time, having a great time at the party, and I think is when who is it? I think Nancy gets thrown in the pool, or they're joking around and playing around, and Steve throws
Oh
Nancy in the pool.
yeah,
Nancy's
yeah.
wet. Um, she's all upset because she didn't want to be thrown in the pool, and now she has to go inside to go change. So they all go inside and change, and I think Bobby and his girlfriend go somewhere else in the house, and Steve is
Mhm.
going upstairs to his room to go get her some clothes to change into, and he already brought her a towel. And Barb is coming out from the bathroom and kind of like passes each other, like,
Mhm.
Nancy, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm just waiting for Steve to bring me clothes, but if you want to go home, you can just go home. Like, shoes Barb away after Barb
Mhm.
had a rough time, man. Rough time at this party. She kind of shoes like, if you don't want to stay, I'm not gonna make you stay, but I'm gonna stay, though. And Barb's like, no, Nance, like you have to go, like let's go. And she's
Like, don't do this, all this stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and she's like, nope, I'm not going. You, if you want to go, you can go. And I'm like, damn, you gonna do your best friend like that? So Barb stays, obviously, as a good friend should. Barb stays, hangs out outside at the pool, you know, just on the diving board, just kicking her feet because she doesn't understand what, you know, why her or why this whole situation is going on. You hear some crunching in the woods. With my first thought, I thought it was Jonathan being the
Jonathan, yeah.
savior, like, hey man, let's go. Come on.
Like even at that, like that would be so like bizarre and weird at the same time. You just hear some chirping, it's just Jonathan come out, hey, you need some help? Like, you know.
Hey man, you want some company? Like
Where'd you come
critique
from?
just
Yeah.
clicks. Hey, you want some help, you know? No. But she hears like a screech or
Yeah.
like some kind of screaming or screech, and then like the episode just kind of like blanks from
Mhm.
there. And I'm like, damn, this season really did take me off because every episode ended in a cliffhanger. And I'm so glad they changed that
Yep.
after so many episodes, after so many seasons, because I think the cliffhanger stopped after season 3, where it left it like to the
It took two
last 2
seasons.
episodes. Yeah, it took 2 seasons to stop with the
Yeah.
cliffhangers. And I'm like, bro, I hate these cliffhangers. Like, don't get me wrong, it kept me on the edge of the seat, and like the flow of the episodes felt like it was all one when they did do
Mhm.
the cliffhangers. Not gonna lie, but I guess they figured out the science behind these cliffhangers because it didn't
Kind
work for
of
me those 2 seasons.
cliffhanger wise, like it kind of remind well some episodes, but The Walking Dead was real good on that. Uh, for a little bit, cause until like obviously their seasons are not that good anymore. But like they used to
Yeah.
do that a lot, where the cliffhangers were just like, "Are you like serious? I have to wait a whole week to see what happened." And then I know at the end of the episode it's gonna be another cliffhanger. So it's like,
Especially like, okay, so in The Walking Dead, especially when you knew a main character or an important character was gonna die, they left
hmm
the cliffhanger like that. Like,
yeah,
I remember with Herschel's death,
yep,
the way that they did the whole storming of it, the way that cliffhanger was before that happened, or the episode before it. Oh, it made me so mad because I had to wait. I think that was the season that they did it by 2 weeks. So
yeah,
that one we had to wait
yeah.
2 weeks. And I'm just like, oh, why? Like,
Longest 2 weeks of your life.
longest 2 weeks. And then with Glenn's death, that was
Oh my god, that
the
was that what a
mid-season. I
six
think
month
that was
thing.
like, yeah, that was like the new episode for the season or something like that. And we had to wait 6 months to see that. And I was just like,
I remember they got so much shit for that. Oh my
I'm not
god, that's
gonna
so
lie,
funny.
I stopped watching after that because I was so upset because I loved Glenn.
I
And that
stopped watching after I think the season finale of season 7. So that
oh
season,
dang.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I kept on
That's
watching it,
a
and then like that's about it.
Yeah, I watched that whole season. I gave up after that because, for one, Glenn was my favorite character. Like, I loved Glenn, and like the story that they were doing for him and Maggie was like the best thing and
Hmm.
everything. I was like, when he died, I was done. Like, I was just like, I can't do it no more. I'm done. But yeah, like they have theirs down to a science. I feel like every show should have their way of how they leave cliffhangers. Like also with Breaking Bad had like the best way of how
Yeah.
they set their cliffhangers, and it just that's how they went on for so many seasons. I think they went on for like seven seasons.
5 seasons.
For Breaking 5 seasons,
Yeah.
but they went on for 5 seasons. Same thing with Walking Dead. They went on for almost going on like 10 seasons.
I don't.
I think 12, 10 to 12 seasons.
Something like
But
that.
like
Yeah.
they mastered their cliffhangers. Obviously, we know Stranger Things after season 5, it's going to be done and over with because the Duffer
Hmm.
Brothers are done. But it's the way that they master it. So like this season 1 and season 2 is where they were kind of like, okay, let's see what we can play um with their cliffhangers to get people invited to watch the episodes more and more. And then they mastered it in season 3 and season 4. Like they figured out that science. So it kept the audience drawn into going back for another episode. Like you didn't want to stop watching until you were fully done and you realize,
Yep.
oh shoot, I watched this for 12 hours. Didn't realize it, but I watched it for 12 hours. So they mastered it once season 3 and season 4 happened. So took them a little bit, but hey, they got it at
Hmm.
least in enough time. Um, and that was pretty much it on that episode. Like I said, it felt
This
like
episode 2.
yeah, that was it for episode 2. Like it
Pretty
felt
much the
like
runtime of the recording.
yeah, honestly, we got a little bit. Like I said, we kind of cut a little bit out, but because we talked about it last episode, not realizing that it was episode 2. But hey, it was fun because this episode we got a little bit more in depth into Mike and his relationship with 11 now, and then Hopper on how
Hopper.
he
Yeah.
is as a chief of police. Honestly, like he feels like he failed, but he hasn't yet, and you will see that more and more through the seasons, through the episodes, and through the seasons on how he has changed from where he is now. But I'm proud of Hopper, though. Still proud of him, regardless. Even though he has a missing kid and a death going on his reign as the
I'm
chief of
proud of
police.
him.
I'm still proud of him. It's better than what we got going on now and
That is true.
nowadays.
Yeah.
But hey, kudos to him. And then Mike finding his first love, even though she's buzz cut and a lost child, but still, hey,
Doesn't speak, but hey,
and has a tattoo. Solid. Solid.
perfect 10 in Mike's eyes.
Perfect 10. Perfect 10. Perfect 10 for Mike. But no, he's having a
That's
blast.
funny.
We're having a blast. And this episode was donezo for us for Barb. Um and episode 3. Final thoughts. What do you think? What did you think about this episode?
I loved how there was more backstory.
Mm-hmm.
With Hopper especially because he just came in as a chief or a sheriff. Um, but yeah, I just loved how there was a little bit more backstory than obviously the first episode because obviously the first episode is just you don't explain everything all in one.
Yeah, it's just a pilot.
But yeah. So that's the word I was thinking. I was like, what's the fucking word for
It's a pilot. It's a pilot, my guy.
that?
They should have just named it that as the first episode pilot, and then went to missing. Where's Bill Will Byers and everything.
like every TV show.
Just
I, I
pilot.
don't I don't know if I would do that if I had my own TV show. Like if I wrote my own TV show, it won't be pilot. I just nah.
Nah.
Every TV show does that.
Yeah. Honestly, they do. They do. It's always a pilot episode when you see episode 1 or season 1, episode 1. It's always pilot. It's never an actual title. This is I think the first show that I've ever seen that actually had a title for their
It's
first
very
episode.
true. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
very true. Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up and verify that to see if it is
I feel
true.
like you're right on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, except for Goosebumps. I think Goosebumps is the only thing I remember because there's all were books, but obviously
Yeah.
they use their book titles. But still, I feel like I'm 1-1. If I come back
Goosebumps
the
was that
next,
confident. Was like, you read our books. You should know our shit already.
you should already know. They're like Goosebumps, like they already know. Cue the piano. You know what it is.
Oh my god, I love
But
that. We have a
damn, I
Goosebumps
miss those.
podcast.
Oh, there we go. Now we're gonna transition into to the Goosebumps podcast. Hey guys, thanks for joining us. Now back to our Goosebumps episode. But well, with all honesty, this episode I felt like it was a lot more speedy. Like I said, it was an hour long episode or close to an hour long episode, but it felt like it was everything bunched in like 30 minutes. So it felt like it was kind of condensed, but in a sense to where it felt like it wasn't that long. But it was still an hour, obviously, but it was a lot to take in that hour. Um but it felt so minimal. Felt like 20 minutes, 30-minute episodes. I felt like I
Mhm.
was watching an episode of Bluey, like that quick, that freaking quick. Um,
Now, do you like shows like that?
I don't. I like when there's a longer story.
There's a lot of
Like,
stuff going on, I guess.
yeah, I like a lot of stuff going on. Like with my child, my youngest, we watch Bluey all the time, and those episodes just go straight into each other.
Mm,
With them putting the opening title. If they didn't put the opening title, honestly, I felt like it was going to be one whole movie all together. Like
okay.
solid. So that's why I'm like, oh my god, like these episodes now they feel like they're just going by so quickly than whenever I first watched it. When I first watched it, I was like, it's an hour
It's
long.
a drag. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And like you'll pause it and you're like 28 minutes. Like it felt like it was long, but now like watching it back again, I'm like, dude, these episodes were not longer than I thought they were. That's why I'm over here like at 18 minutes. I'm like, damn, I only have 18 minutes left. Like
Mhm.
I just felt like it was so much more quicker.
I think too,
Now
because how now episodes are. So,
they are like an
y-
hour and 30 now. Feels like
so
a
I
whole cinema.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just a big difference compared when we just started watching the first time. Yeah, I did notice that it is a bit of a drag when you first started watching it, and now it's just like you just said, damn, that's already like it's already about to finish. I can already tell like the ending's coming and all this and that. So
Absolutely. Yeah. But I guess we'll wrap this up for this episode, honestly. Kudos for Barb being a mom, Mike finding his first love, Nancy hopefully, winning with Steve, I guess. I don't
chugging
even
a
know at
beer.
this point. Chugging a beer.
That was
A1.
my impressive, I guess, thing I saw in this episode.
Yes, the most impressive thing is Nancy shotgunning a beer.
Yep.
And we'll leave it at that. Uh with her shotgunning a beer, just hit what is it? Winnie Tall Can. Winnie Tall Can with
Oh
the
yeah, any
opening
talk
up of
can.
the beer or something. And then the pouring. We gotta have that open up with it. But guys, this is our episode, and we will catch y'all guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.